What's up, Boat Dragons? I am in the house today doing the Rock on Rap Songs Booktag. And I was tagged by Nicole over at Nicole's Bookish Nook, and she is the original creator of this tag. Do you dig it? Let's get to it. Gotta put my eyes on, and here we go. And I know that was weird, but I'm weird, so, you know, what do you expect? So the first prompt on this tag is, It's a Hard Knock Life by Jay-Z. And that, of course, is a cover of It's a Hard Knock Life from Annie. And I love both versions. When I first heard Jay-Z's version, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So, and I do listen to rap music, by the way. I love rap music. Not as much as I used to, maybe, but I do love rap music. So, this prompt is a fiction or nonfiction book about an organization, a poor family, or an orphan. And I picked one of my favorite books, The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Guys, this is such a great book, and it features an orphanage where magical children live. It's just such a sweet, heartwarming story. I absolutely love it. And so, yeah, I had to go with this one. And this one may come up later in the tag. I'm just saying. So we'll set that one aside for now. Okay, and so the next one on this list is Walk This Way by Aerosmith featuring Run DMC. And of course, I've heard this one numerous times. It's one of my favorite songs. The first rap group I ever listened to, guys, was Run DMC. I know I'm dating myself, but I go back that far. A favorite book of yours that blends genres. And for this one, I went with a recent book that I read called The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. And this is a really, really good book, guys. This is easily in my top books of the year. I had such a great time reading this. And it blends two genres. It blends fantasy and mystery together. And it's kind of got like a punkish vibe to it. Like I called it botany punk because there's a bunch of weeds and fungi and stuff in the book, but the main genres it's trying to blend are fantasy and mystery, and I'm so there for it because I love both of those genres. Really do. And so, yeah, The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. Prompt number 3 is Just Lose It by Eminem. A book that you think is funny or ridiculous in a bad way. And honestly, guys, I haven't read any books that I felt were funny or ridiculous in a bad way. I haven't really read any, so I have no answer for that prompt. Moving on. Thunderstruck by AC/DC. Great song. A book that shocked you in a good or bad way. Can we do shocked in a mixed way? It was really great writing, and yet it was just mind-bendingly jaw-dropping and gut-wrenching. And that was A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. Guys, if you know, you know. This book, whew, it's my favorite book in A Song of Ice and Fire. But man, if you guys know The Red Wedding, you know what I'm talking about. Shocking. Debilitatingly so. I don't think I've cried so hard at something like that in a book in a long time. And even just thinking about it makes me feel like I'm going to tear up because it's that shocking. So, George R. R. Martin loves to shock. So, great read though. Great read. Prompt number 5. Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. Another one of my favorite songs. A book about LA, Los Angeles, or a book that takes place in or around LA. And I went with The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. First book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. And it doesn't necessarily take place in LA for the whole book, but one of the major locations is the realm of Hades, and the entrance to that realm is in LA. So they do have to go to LA for that. So I know that's kind of cheating a little bit, but I couldn't really find any other books that I had read off the top of my head that took place in Los Angeles. So I went with it. You're just going to have to deal with it. All right, so the next prompt is Gimme All Your Lovin' by ZZ Top, another great song. Your favorite romance book, or if you do not read romance, your favorite couple in any book. And yes, I do not read romance. Romance just is not my thing at all. Like, I like to watch romantic comedies, movies and stuff. But I don't read romance books. They're just not for me. But I do have a favorite couple that I've read about in some of my fantasy books. And actually, I have two favorite couples. So I'm just going to go with two answers for this. And I'm going to start with, as I set aside earlier, The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune has one of my favorite male-male romances, and that is Arthur and Linus. I love their story. It's such a beautiful and precious story, and it carries on in Somewhere Beyond the Sea, which is the direct sequel to this. They have such a lovely love story, and so I love that. And then I went with Laszlo Strange and Sarai from Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. They are another one of my absolute favorite couples. And so, yes, I do read books that have romance in them. I just don't read romance novels, but these books are so great. So, there we go. All right, so the next prompt is Fight for Your Right to Party by the Beastie Boys. Another great song. A book centered around a celebration. Now, I had to really think hard on this one, guys, because I haven't really read books that are completely centered around a celebration. But I read a really great series a while back. The first book is The Mask of Mirrors, and it's by M.A. Carrick. It's by two authors. And I really, really enjoyed this book. In the city that it takes place in, there are a lot of festivals and celebrations. There's one called The Night of Bells that features very prominently in the story, which, and by the way, I think that's a really cool name for a festival. I'm just saying. But it's a celebration that takes place in the city, and there's elements of something called Azrael's Dream that features very heavily in the series as a whole, and there's festivals centered around that as well. So I just really, really enjoyed this series. It's a very unique series. I'm not really great at describing it because it is hard to describe, but I highly recommend that you check it out. So that is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. And the next prompt on this list is Firestarter. This is prompt number 8, Firestarter by Prodigy. Pretty good song. I'd never heard it before, so I fired it up on my Apple Music account, and it's pretty good. A book that has fire in the title or has an orange or red cover. And guys, for this, I went with Fire and Blood by George R. R. Martin. This is an excellent book, guys. This is a history book for the world of Westeros that features in A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin. And I know what you may be thinking, oh, Chaz, I don't want to do history books. No. This is not any history book. I'm not big on history books either, but man, this one was so damn good. I have never read a more well-paced and easy-to-read history book in my life. And I had to read plenty of history books in school. Let's just get real. We all did. And I have never enjoyed reading a history book as much as I enjoyed reading this. So I highly recommend this book, especially if you are as invested in the world of Westeros as I am. You need to read this book, guys. So good. It's the book that inspired the show, House of the Dragon. So read it, guys. It's great. It's great. So the final prompt on this list is Humble by Kendrick Lamar. And let's just get real, guys. I am not a fan of Kendrick Lamar. I grew up with old style rap, and this newfangled stuff that the kids are listening to just isn't for me. Never thought I'd be saying that when I was a young kid, right? Okay, so yeah, not a fan of Kendrick Lamar, but a fiction or nonfiction book that left you stunned at the audacity of the main character or the writer. And for that, guys, I went with American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. I hated this book, guys. And I did finish the book, but I was hate reading it the entire time. Talk about audacity. The author and the main character were very audacious in creating that story. And I feel like that's the perfect book to fit this prompt. So there you go. That's the end of the tag. Now, I've got to tag some people. I'm going to tag Jake over at Nerd Level Rising. I recently happened on his channel via another channel, and I just am really enjoying his content. I'm going to tag Alyssa over at Into the Heart Wild. I tag her a lot, but I tell you guys, her channel is really worth watching. Like, I'm surprised she doesn't get more views than she does. So I'm going to tag her. And I'm also going to tag my boy Theo over at Rekindled Reader. He's got such a great channel. I would love to see him do this tag if he hasn't done it already. And one more new channel that I just happened on is Already Overbooked. I want him to do this tag as well. You guys need to check out his channel. And that's it. I'm done. Until next time, guys, make sure you read more books. Peace out! And I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons. Thank you so much for what you do and supporting my channel.